Hello there, everybody. So glad that you could join me on this wintry day. I don't know where you are. If you're on the West Coast or in the midsection of the country, you probably were not. But we on the East Coast, here in Pennsylvania, where I live, we got all the snow in one day that we should have gotten throughout the winter. We got a ton of snow. But you know what? I kind of like it. I kind of like having snow, and the air is crisp, and we have today a bright and sunny day. It's just gorgeous, and I hope to take a little walk and enjoy the winter. I mean, when somebody gives you a lemon, you make lemonade. And the snow is a little bit, but we can't complain. We haven't really had any snow all winter. So if this is it, then that's perfect. Now, as I promised you last time, we're going to talk about skincare today. What's really in your creams that you're using? And even though many of you may think, well, that's more of a woman's problem, well, it's not. Because you know what? Wrinkles are on a man not really that great looking either. And many men now, I mean, there's a whole industry now where men are using creams and cosmetics that are formulated especially for a man's skin. Because a man's skin uh, all over is a little different than our skin, women's skin. One of the main things, just to give you a little information about it, is that a man's skin doesn't have to expand as much as a woman's skin. We bear children and we have to expand our skin when we get pregnant. So a man's skin, the fibers are usually pretty tightly woven, whereby a woman's skin is a little bit more loosely woven. So the collagen fibers are a little bit more loose, whereby a man's skin is really tight, and only the influence of sun and age will wrinkle a man's skin. But as you've noticed, probably that a lot of men, most men, their skin around their their mouth and around their chin is usually a little tighter. One of the reasons for that is that they shave. The shaving exfoliates, and that keeps the skin younger. So, girls, exfoliate, but please do not use those exfoliating creams that you find in the drugstore that have these little apricot kernels in it. With those, you can really injure your skin. They're sharp edged, and they can make little tiny cuts into your skin. And if you don't use a cream that heals the skin afterwards, uh, it, those creams can really age you more than do good. So don't use those. If you want to use an exfoliating cream, use one with the little, they're almost plastic. They're man made little particles in the cream that can exfoliate. One of the best things to exfoliate your skin with is oatmeal. Make a little paste of oatmeal. Not Don't cook it. Just make a little paste of it and go over your skin. You can put, if you really want to be advantageous or adventurous, put a teaspoon of sugar into it. And now you wash your face with that. Do it in the shower because it might be a little messy. But that really works. And with that, you cannot injure your skin. You know, of course, that I know what I'm talking about because I am a skincare expert. That's how I started really my adventure in my life. I started as a skincare expert. I learned over the years, throughout the years, more and more. And now I have really learned what it takes to stay younger looking all throughout your life. I'm one of the best examples, and many of my clients are the same way. If you go to the website, thehealinggroup.org, you will find some of my clients also. You will find a picture of me there too when I looked a little bit more aged than I am now, because now I have learned how to make a cream for myself that I've always made just for my clients. And now I'm using that for myself. And it really works. So I'm one of the best examples. So let's talk about creams. I mean, I'm sure that most of you have a graveyard of wrinkle creams at home. I mean, um, every cream that promises everlasting youth and is advertised, sooner or later, if it's advertised enough, we'll succumb and we'll buy it. Most of them do not work. 95% of those creams do not work. It is a hit and miss. These creams are formulated for a broad spectrum of people. They are not formulated for individual needs. Every person has a different need. Some people need more lifting. Some people need more moisture, that they have lines and wrinkles throughout their skin where there's a moisture loss, sun damage. They have brown spots. They need lifting around the eyes. They have dark circles under the eyes. They have bags under the eyes. They have a lot of frown lines between the eyes. Everybody is different. And if it is a hit and miss for you just because it says a wrinkle cream, that does not mean that this cream works for you. Now let's talk about some of the ingredients that are used. Most of the better creams, the ones that are a little more expensive, well, price has really not much to do with it, but creams that have, that are from companies that take pride in what they're doing and how they formulate. Now, the FDA does not really regulate that. We all think, well, the FDA is just because it's approved by the FDA. Well, each cream that is formulated does not have to be approved by the FDA. The ingredients have to be approved by the FDA. And what is the main object of a company making a cream? They want to make money. So what they do is they put one or two active ingredients in there, and the rest of it is fluff, what I call fluff. And that means water. If you see the first ingredient on your jar, always read there the same thing as with your food. Read the labels. So I'm going to give you a few things what you should be looking for. One of the things that you should be looking for is a cosmeceutical peptide. Now, there are many peptides, and peptides are really the ones that they signal an action in the skin. And one of the most popular peptide is a neurotransmitter peptide that affects the action of the muscle. It's like a natural Botox. Now, one of those, the name for that is Argiline. And you should be looking if the cream, if there is like the second, if you're looking to eliminate lines between your eyes, the frown lines, you should be looking for maybe Argiline. Natural Botox also. Then there should be an explanation where that natural Botox comes from. One of the ingredients that I use here is the Temple Viper. It has a neuropeptide. It has a neurotransmitter peptide that stops the action so that you don't frown as much. Now, it doesn't work quite in the same way as an injection of Botox, but with continued use, it will stop that action. And also, if you do frown a lot, maybe you should have your eyes checked, because if you can't see properly, then the first thing that we do is we go like this, right? So you do want to check your eyes and see if you have good vision, if you have a lot of frown lines. If it's just a habit, one of the things that I tell my clients is when I sit and read, I often put my hand right here and then I read. So I won't do that action that I contract that muscle and increase that frown line. The other that you find a lot in cosmetics is parabens. Parabens are really in reality only a preservative. And they are made from a lot of, so parabens, I never ever put any parabens into our creams here because they really don't do much. However, how the cream is preserved is by the natural ingredients that have a natural preservative action. And many of them do have that. Many people are also allergic to ceramides. Ceramides are also a natural component of the skin. But a lot of people have a reaction to them. So ceramides are not an advantageous, just if there's an ingredient named ceramide, don't buy that product because you could have a natural reaction to it. However, niacinamides, they can reduce mild lines and wrinkles. They do not have that component that might cause a reaction to the skin. And coming back to the parabens, the reason why they are in almost every product, and they may be called methylparaben or propylene paraben or isopropyl paraben or isobutyl paraben. But whenever you see on the end parabens, try to stay away from them. They are not good for your skin. One of the major ingredients right now that is used is, you see a lot, Matrixyl. Matrixyl in itself is not advantageous and beneficial to the skin. But Matrixyl 3000, which is a different one, it's made of 3 different types of Matrixyl. They are very beneficial to the skin. And those products are often also a little more expensive. So here are the things that you should be looking for niacinamides, matrixyl, peptides, hyaluronic acid, alpha hydroxy acid, and DMAE. If you have a lot of sagging on your skin, you have a lot of that you want to lift your skin, DMAE, products with that, you will very likely have a very good result. DMAE is made, is man-made. However, it increases collagen fibers in the skin. Matrixyl does that also. DMAE cream could reduce coarse wrinkles around the jaw also. These wrinkles, this part. So when you go to the healinggroup.org, you will find that we use a lot of DMAE, and we use the highest amount of DMAE. The only thing with DMAE you have to be careful with is that it can be drying to the skin. So you will want to have something that is maybe a sun protection that will be a little bit more of the moisture content, that will give you more of a, now you can also use makeup as a sun protection. I don't know if you know that. You have a light and sun protection with makeup. You also have, there's a sun protection called avobenzone. Avobenzone. Try to stay away from that one because it's a chemical, not terribly advantageous to the skin. But anything that has, like the mineral essential, the mineral based, where it's a little colored, but it's in a cream, or like a BB cream, or those are made with titanium dioxide. And that is rather beneficial for the skin. And it really is, it's between a 20 and a 50 sunscreen. The reason why I'm a little vague with that is because often you cannot really, it's depending on of how much of the titanium dioxide is in the cream, of how strong the sun protection is. But avobenzone, I would stay away from that. Thank God, PABA is discontinued in the United States. We don't use that anymore in the United States as a sun protection because it has caused so many adverse reactions. Now, one of the best ingredients in skincare is seaweed. Seaweed has a natural affinity to the skin. So you want to also look for products that have seaweed. Aveeno has blackberry weed and feverfew and shiitake and seaweed and oat and soy. Why they use a lot of the grains, and those are, again, peptides, because they're very soothing to the skin. So Aveeno is a company that prides itself for the soothing actions, so they would use ingredients that are soothing to the skin. And if you have rosacea, or if you have, rosacea when the skin gets very red and very irritated looking, you may want to use a wheat product. You can also do it yourself. Use oatmeal. Use an oatmeal mask. Here's what you do with an oatmeal mask. You take oatmeal, soak it in milk. Don't cook it. Soak it in milk. Then you add a teaspoon of very good yogurt, but unflavored, of course. No sugar in the yogurt, okay? You stir it real well. If you want to really spoil yourself, you can put a drop of honey in there. Mix all of that real well. Spread it over your skin as a mask. And you will see how your skin will really have a glow afterwards. It will be just beautiful. It will be nicely soothed, and you will really find that you did something good. It's cheap and it's readily available, and anybody can do that. If you need to know more about that kind of information, please let me know. Do we have any questions at this point?
No.
All right. Okay. So everybody understands me.
Hopefully.
Okay. Hopefully. Okay. I hope I didn't overwhelm people with all these ingredients, but look always on the ingredients list. So if the first ingredient is water, you're paying for water. Most of and any cream that disappears very quickly on the skin usually is a cream that will not be lasting very long. What that cream will do is it will leave a oily film on the skin that will disappear, and that's it. So it's not going to last you all day. So what you want to have a cream that has some kind of a liposome in there. And liposomes are that they are where they really inserted into the little globule a product. So it is let's say this is a drop by a force, by a centrifugal force, they will insert a product, like for instance, collagen. And the liposome then hits the skin, will spread all over the skin, it has an affinity to get into the skin, into the top layer of the skin. And once it is in the skin, it will release that collagen. Now, collagen by itself, if you see, let's say you see a cream that has water, collagen, elastin. Those are very inexpensive ingredients. And the collagen molecule is so large that it will not be able to enter into the skin. You need a liposome for that, or you need a peptide or a niacinamide in order to enter into the top layer of the skin. So any cream that you buy in a health food store is usually made just with water, collagen, elastin, and maybe some herbs. Those creams are usually just to keep the skin somewhat soft. They will not induce a change in your skin, okay? Like I said, if you have any questions, please contact me, either thebeautygroup.org or thehealinggroup.org, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. What else? Let me see. Now, this is naturally for men and women. It is not just for women. Okay. Do I have any other things here? Let me see. Matrixyl, we talked about. That is the one that is right now. It's a peptide, and it is. It's almost. I mean, you see it all over the internet. Matrixyl 3000 creams that are made with it. But it again, it depends on how much of it is in the cream. If there's only a small amount in the cream, then it's going to work only marginal. But look for creams that have DMAE if you need to have a stronger action and really want to have a revival of your skin. Now, talking about revival of your skin, last week we talked about how when we get older, that we all have to go, we all have to die. We all have to eventually leave this wonderful earth. And what happens to our pets then? So we are going to make a whole change from the skincare to pets. I do want to talk about that a little bit more. There was just now, I saw an advertisement that was really fabulous. A man was walking down, he had his dog and he was walking with him and he was going to the store, and the dog was, you could see, was totally focused on him. Like, I'm sure you have pets like that. My pets are like that too. And the dog was just on his side, and they were the best of friends. You saw that. And when the man was outside, all of a sudden he was shoveling snow, and he fell down and he had a heart attack. The dog was naturally not allowed in the ambulance, and it was not, but you could see the dog wanted to be with the owner. So the first thing the dog was, he ran after the ambulance and to the hospital. And he was lying in front of the hospital and he was waiting for his owner to come out. Well, this was for organ donors, really. A woman came out then out of the door, and she apparently got an organ from his owner, and he recognized that, which was a little bit over the top, in my opinion. But my point here is how our animals are fixed on us. They're just like our children are fixed on us. They need our care. 100% of our animals need our care. And if we cannot provide that, then our animals are in dire need. Now, I'm going to be talking to the humane societies in our area here, and you may want to in your area, because I can't be, everywhere, but you might want to talk to your humane society and ask them if they would institute a foster program. Most humane societies have that, but here's the new twist on that. If we all have a small amount of money set aside, either through a life insurance or through an endowment or somehow, in a savings account, it doesn't matter. Whatever, this money is for my best friend should something happen to me. And here's how this can work. You can call your humane society and say, let me ask you, do you have a foster program? If they do, then sign up with that foster program and say, if something should happen to me, I want my animal to go into that foster program. For the trouble for you to find for my animal a good home, another caring, loving person, I will leave you X amount of dollars. And that person, if there's enough money left over for being so kind of taking your animal, will also get a special monthly benefit from that amount of money that you left. Now, you can do that through a trust. You can do that through best is to do it through a trust or through somebody. Maybe your lawyer can set that up for you, that money goes only then for the care of your animal. Now, you can do that also through a life insurance, which then you can change also at any time and you can access also. So I found that especially for our best friends, we should definitely make those arrangements, because it is just, we would also, the humane societies would love you for it, because they would get a small amount for the benefit. And the one thing that I hear from them often is people just don't care. They get sick or they die, and their animals are either running wild until they are caught, or we get them. And if it's an old animal, it's very hard to out-adopt that animal. But if you made arrangements beforehand for your animal and called the Humane Society and say, this is what I'm planning, what are your thoughts on that? I'm sure that they will work with you for that, with that. It's just not right that we leave those that depend on us then high and dry. Now, what the other thing is also, if, for instance, you don't die, which is a good thing, right? But you're in the hospital. For, let's say you're in the hospital for a week, 2 weeks. Who takes care of your animal? Maybe your cousin, your brother, the neighbor for a few days. But then who will take care of the animal? Here's what you can do. There's a very, very neat, nifty little insurance that is called a hospital indemnity plan. Many companies sell it. If you need more information, let me know. I can get you in touch here with New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, with companies. If you're out of those states, I can tell you where to get one. They're usually pretty inexpensive, because here's what they do. You can choose. If you go to the hospital, this is not that they pay the bills of the hospital. For that, you have your insurance or your supplemental insurance if you're on Medicare. This does not pay for your hospital stay. This gives you extra money, either $100, $200, or $300 a day, depending on what you choose and what you pay monthly. And your monthly premium is based on how much you want. But let's say you get $100 a day. That pays more than enough for some pet sitter or somebody, some caretaker, to go into the house and take care of your animal while you're not there, until you come out of the hospital. And that is for a length of time. You usually get it for a week or for 2 weeks. You get that $100 a day. You can pay other bills with that. Let's say you have electricity that has to be paid, or travel expense for a caretaker for you. I remember that my husband had the hospital indemnity insurance. And when he had his heart attack, he had to be flown by helicopter from one town to the next. Well, the insurance that he had did not want to pay for that. So we had that hospital indemnity plan that we could use that money to pay for that helicopter ride. So think about that. Think about a hospital indemnity plan that you could use also for your pet. I'm sure that there are people out there that have questions on that. So please log in, make your questions known so that I can answer them. and that you can take care of your animal. And if you have any other questions, any senior questions, any questions that you think that you might need to know, and don't deprive yourself of a pet just because you are older. Just because you think, well, maybe I don't have long enough to live to outlive that pet. Having a pet, especially as a senior, I've said that so many times, and I'm really standing by it. One of the things why my husband is going to be 87. If you see him, he is out there, he's shoveling snow, he's bringing in wood. He is just as active as he can be. One of the things is that we do have a lot of pets. It keeps us younger. It gets you out of bed in the morning. You have to feed the animal. You have to take care of the animal. If you have somebody that you have to take care of, you will. And that, as long as you're mobile, as one of my friends said one day, every day that I wake up and nothing hurts is a bonus. But if it does hurt, I ascertain how much does it hurt. And it never hurts so much that I cannot get up. If you feel you have low energy, you feel you're not really, it's really because you're living alone. You don't have somebody that you have to take care of. Get yourself a pet if you don't have one. See that you take care of something else. Life is a struggle until the very end. And when we stop struggling, then it is the end. And with that, since today is a snow day, I want to get out into the sun and into the snow. I'm going to leave you today with that. Welcome the struggle of every day, and welcome that you have something that you have to do every day. And if you don't have something to do, make something up. Because if you don't, it is, if you don't keep moving, pots that don't keep moving, they rust and they fall apart. We have a very good German proverb in that. Wer rastet, der rostet. And which means that if you stand still too long, you're going to fall apart. And that is one of the basic things the older you get. The more you move, the more you are engaged, the more you are in the process. And I hope all of you are in the process. Our political scene shows us that we have to be. Whatever your persuasion is, Republican or Democrat, be out there, support your candidate, and if we are engaged, we make a better world for all of us. Okay? Ha ha! Amnon, our producer, what a wonderful thing. That was very, very true. Thank you very much. Amnon, do we have any questions? Do we have anything before you have any concerns before I leave you all today?
I don't see any comments on neither
No
platform.
comments.
No
How sad.
questions. Nope.
I love the interaction with the audience. I hope
Yeah.
you all enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, you didn't find the information useful, let me know also. Tell me, because this show is for you. I enjoy it, but it's for you, for your information. I want to give you as much information, and I will research whatever your questions are. Okay, with that in mind, have a wonderful Sunday. Have a great week. I will talk to you next week. And hopefully, next week, we will have a guest on the show. I'm working on a guest that might provide us with some useful information how to save on taxes. How would that be? Right?
That
Because
would be great.
yeah, our seniors, all of us are getting taxed out of the out of
Yep,
it.
yep.
So, and I won't take it anymore. I am going to get educated just like you guys, and hopefully, we will have that lady who is very much so in the know for senior taxes, how we can save on taxes. So, let's hope that works for next week. And with that, have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Bye for now.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Parent Dome with Ryan Miller, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.